So, what is it, the most favored nation clause? Does it remind you something?
The international rule and principle that is accepted by majority of the Muslims.
No. Well, it is, but that's not the meaning of the most favored nation clause. No? Okay, so we show basic definitions. Well, the MFN, so most favored nation. The MFN treatment is the treatment accorded by the granting state to the beneficiary state or to persons or things in a determined relationship with that state, not less favorable than treatments extended by the granting state to a third state or to persons or things in the same relationship with that third state. And the most favored nation clause is a treaty region whereby a state undertakes an obligation towards another state to accord most favored treatment in an agreed sphere of relations. So, I'm not sure that you understand what it means. Oh, is it clear or not? It may not be. Yeah? Well, just to try to give an example of this. If in a treaty, let's say, if in a treaty between Cambodia and China, if there is the most favored nation clause, okay? Well, in the bilateral investment treaty between Cambodia and China, there is the most favored nation clause. If there is this clause, it means that China will grant to Cambodian investors the best treatment China is granting to any other foreign investors. Okay? Means that if China is giving a better treatment to a foreign investment, that better treatment, that most favorable treatment, will have to benefit to Cambodian investors. Okay? So, in that case, the granting state is China. So, it's treatment accorded by China to Cambodia or to Cambodian investors, not less favorable than treatment extended by China to the third state or to any foreign investors in China. No? Well, what can I say? If I well, let's take a stupid example. If I sign a contract with you, okay? I sign a contract with you, and in that contract, we write the most favored, not nation, but the most favored student treatment. Means that I commit myself to give you the best treatment I give to any other student, okay? Or the best mark I give to any other student. So if after the exam you should have, I don't know, 12 or out of 20. And if Mr. Gives me something and deserves, I don't know, 16 out of 20, which is a better mark, because of the most favored student treatment that we have in the contract, I should give you a mark that is at least as good as the one I gave to your colleague. Okay? So, well, it does not exist in the student thing. Here in international law, it means that if there is the most favored nation treatment in the treaty, the state party to the treaty commits itself to grant to the other parties to the treaty the best treatment that the first party gives to any other state, or in the field of investment, the state will give the best treatment to the investor, and that best treatment is determined by the identification of what is the best treatment that you give to any other foreign investor. Okay? We will explain that later. So, the most favored nation clause is very common in international economic law, in international economic treaties, trade treaties, and treaties on the investment. So there are some very old references to the most favored nation treatment. We can find this in that Treaty of Amity and Commerce between the US and France, concluded in 1778, Article 3D. So, the subjects of the most Christian king shall pay in the port havens, roads, countries, lands, cities, or towns of the United States, or any of them, no other or greater duties or imposed of what nature whatsoever they may be, or by what name soever called, than those which the nations most favored, so that's the most favored nation, than those which the nations most favored are or shall be obliged to pay, and they shall enjoy all the rights, liberties, privileges, immunities, and exemptions in trade, navigation, and commerce, whether in passing from one port in the said state to another, or in going to and from the same, from and to any part of the world, which the said nations do or shall enjoy. Well, it means that the US here gives to France and to French people the benefit of the rights the US gives to the nations most favored. It means that the US cannot discriminate against French people. If the US gives an advantage to, I don't know, to Italian or to, well, Italy did not exist at that time, to English people, then those privileges, immunities, exemptions, etc., those advantages have to be extended to the benefit of French people. Okay? It means that the favors have to be extended to the state or to its citizens. But today we find the most favored nation treatment in Article 1 of the GATT General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, concluded in 1947. This provision, Article 1 of the GATT, is considered as the pillar of the trade, the international trade system, of the multilateral trade system. And the definition which is given here is quite a comprehensive definition. With respect to customs duties and charges of any kind imposed on or in connection with importation or exportation, or imposed on the international transfer of payments for imports or exports, and with respect to the method of levying such duties and charges, and with respect to all rules and formalities in connection with importation and exportation, and here is the clause, any advantage, favor, privilege, or immunity granted by any contracting party to any products originating in or destined for any other country shall be accorded immediately and unconditionally to the like products originating in or destined for the territories of all other contracting parties. Okay, so that's the definition given by Article 1 of the GATT. And I think everything will be clear after the example here. Okay, so here we have three states, A, B, and C. Okay. Okay, so A, B, and C. GATT, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, is today one of the treaties administered by the World Trade Organization. It means that every single member of the World Trade Organization is a party to the GATT, to the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. Okay, so let's say that between A and B, which are both members of the WTO, okay? Let's say that state B exports a product X from B, to the territory of state A, okay? So there's a product produced here and exportation to the market of state A. Okay? To export a product, you have to pay tariffs. Means it's a tax when you enter the foreign market. Okay? And one of the objective of the GATT is to reduce the tariffs. Okay? But there are some tariffs. So A can say, okay, the tariff for this product from B is 10%. It means that if the value of this product is, I don't know, $100, you have to pay a tax of $10 to enter the country. Okay? So when you go through the custom, you have to pay the tax. Okay? So A and B are members of the World Trade Organization and are parties to the GATT. And the GATT states that, any advantage, favor, privilege, or immunity granted by any contracting party to any product originating or shall be accorded immediately and unconditionally to the like products of all other contracting parties. Okay? So that's what we have to remember. So now we have the relations between A and C. C may be a WTO member or a non-WTO member. Or a non or WTO member. Okay? So, in in that case, if there is a product X coming from C going to the territory of A, okay? So it's the same product, X, okay? One is coming from B to the market of A, and one is coming from C to the market of A. If A decides to impose a tariff of, let's say, 7% on this product X coming from C on the territory of A. Okay? This is, of course, more favorable than this, because if the value of the product is $100, you will have to pay a tax of $10. And here, if the value is $100, you will have the right to enter the market once you paid a tax of $7, okay? Which is, of course, more favorable than in the previous situation. So in that case, because here there is the most favored nation treatment, okay, A has the obligation to extend the benefit of this to state B. Means that this favor given by A to C has to be extended to B because of the most favored nation treatment included in Article 1 of the GATT. Okay? So if the member states of the so the product XB from B to A, if the tariff was 10%, and if the same product but coming from C to A, and if the tariff is 1%, which is of course way more favorable, as A and B are members of the World Trade Organization and parties to the GATT, A has to impose a tariff of 1% if this tariff of 1% is the most favorable that A grants to any product X coming from any country in the world. And it doesn't matter that C may not be a member of the WTO. Even if C is not a member of the WTO, State A has to extend the benefits of this to all the members of the WTO. Okay? So that is the spirit of the most favored nation treatment. That's the spirit of the most favored nation clause. Okay? So you have to extend the benefits to the states or the products that you granted to other states or other products. Okay, so we find the most favored nation treatment and the most favored nation clause mostly in international economic law, in trade law, so the law of the World Trade Organization, but also in the international law of the investment. Most of the bilateral investment treaties that we have mentioned previously include the most favored nation treatment. It means that if a state, well, let's say, we will give the example, but let's say that there is a bilateral investment treaty between Cambodia and China, People's Republic of China. Well, Cambodia has the obligation to grant to Chinese investors in Cambodia the best treatment that Cambodia grants to any other foreign investors in Cambodia. So if French investors receive a better treatment than Chinese investors can legally claim the benefit of the treatment given or granted to French investors. Okay, and there is a reciprocity. The Cambodian investors in China should receive the best treatment given by China to any other foreign investor in China. Okay, so if German investors receive a better treatment in China than Cambodian investors can legally claim the benefit of the treatment granted by China to German investors in China. Okay, so that's the spirit of the most favored nation treatment. It means that a state can commit itself not to discriminate between two foreign investors, or commit itself not to discriminate two foreign products X. Okay, the product X coming from B on the territory of A has to receive the same treatment, or at least the same treatment as product X coming from C exported on the territory of A. Okay? So it's a principle of non-discrimination. You cannot discriminate between foreign investors or foreign products. Okay? So we will see that the most favored nation treatment is a relative standard. We'll see what it means, and then after we'll see the scope of application of the most favored nation treatment. But before that, before leaving, do you understand why the most favored nation treatment, the most favored nation clause, can be seen as a principle that allows the circulation of rules of international law? Because the title of this part of the course is the circulation of rules and principles of international law through the most favored nation clause. Why can we say that the most favored nation clause acts in favor of the circulation of rules and principles? As soon as you give me a relevant answer, you will have the right to leave.
From my understanding,
Okay, that's good.
it is something related to promoting the various investment environment,
Yeah.
and also avoiding discrimination and inequality in terms of relationship and trade investment among countries. For example, if the same principle has to apply to all.
Yeah, but in terms of circulation, that treaty. The MFN is a clause that will promote the circulation of rules and principles, because if you have an other treaty between A and C, and if in that treaty the treatment given to C is better than the treatment given to B, you will take this treatment. Okay. You will take this treatment and you will incorporate it here. You will not revise or modify the treaty, but in the relations between A and B, you will apply the treaty between A and B, but will include the better treatment that you will find in the treaty between A and C. Okay, so you take something from here and you will apply it there. Okay? No? Well, if I take
Just one more time.
forget the derivative equation. Imagine that between A and B in the treaty is written that the tariffs are of 10%. Okay, so that's a provision in the treaty. Okay, and if you have here between A and C a provision stating that tariffs are of the rate of 7%. If there is the most favored nation treatment here, this 7% is a better treatment than 10%. So you will take this, and it will be applicable between A and B. So this treatment, 7%, tariffs of 7%, will move from here to here. Will, of course, still be applicable between A and C, but will also be applicable between A and B. So there is a circulation of the provision. Okay, this provision, which is a provision applicable between A and C, becomes applicable between A and B. Okay, so that's an extension of the benefits. Okay, the benefits of this only apply between A and C, but A will have to extend the benefit to B in favor of B. Okay?